another edition of the Wonderberry Podcast.
I'm Brian,
I'm Dave.
and you can find us online at wonderberry.com.
You can find me online at Open Darkwing.
And you can find me at briankeesbury.com, where I have used the right tools.
Yes.
You can also find me at home battling depression with the right tools now.
Good. I'm glad that we have the right tools for that.
Yeah. Took me a minute to figure out that's what it was, but once I did figure out that's what it was, it took me the right tool to figure out that's what it was. And then once I figured out what it was, I got more right tools. So my counselor said, yeah, that's probably what it is.
Yep.
And I said, okay, I need more tools. So now I'm on an antidepressant. So
That's good.
yeah.
That'll help.
Yeah.
That will absolutely help.
Yep.
Yeah, tools are important.
Yep.
Tools are insanely important.
Yeah.
Especially the right tools for the right jobs, doing the right things.
Yep. Yeah. Like using WordPress for a website.
Hey, I used to knock it. I'm so far enjoying it. I have to redo my website again because after getting a bunch of feedback, I think I'm going to change some of the stuff. Not all of it, but we can, if you want to help me with that, we can talk about that later. If not, that's fine too. But
Yeah, I'm down to help.
dude.
I'm really familiar with WordPress.
Okay, cool.
So I can help guide you through doing the changes you need in it. So
All right, good.
and you're good at storyboarding, like how you want it to look and how you want it to run. So
Yeah, some of it's going to be a little easier, and some of it is going to be a little more difficult, if you will.
yeah.
Like, I don't think it'll be difficult. That's not the right word. Maybe more. Oh, what do you call it? Maybe a little bit more traditional in some ways, and then changing some things up to make it. I don't know. There's just restructuring how I look at how I want it to kind of display out. Instead of by collections, I'm going to do it by type and then make it look a little bit more Instagram-y.
That's not a
It's
bad
not going to
idea.
be terrible, but one of my professors, she sent me her my photography professor sent me hers, and I really like the way hers is kind of laid out. And then the collection stuff, I will do specific collections on Patreon or something like that.
Nice. I just did a theme update on my site the other day. So got a little bit of a revamp and a little cleanup. I still don't know if my ActivityPub thing is working, and I have no idea what's wrong and why it's not working. I don't know. Like, I keep trying to figure it out, and I keep following the instructions, and something's just hanging up somewhere, and I don't know what's going on. I think it might be a host issue, really.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's going to be interesting, I think.
Yeah.
It's going to be... It's going to be interesting.
Okay. We can set it up however you want.
Yeah. But no, talking about tools, I fucked up my final video project because of tools. Or I should say I made things a little bit harder, as well as I kind of fucked up because there were Yeah. I'm So I bought a new camera halfway through the semester, and it's a great camera, and it's going to serve me for a very, very long time. And I didn't go through all the settings because I just kind of assumed certain things. So the new camera that I have, I'm able to plug a microphone in. So I have a small Rode, kind of a shotgun mic that I can mount on the top of the camera and get good audio through there that plugs directly into the camera so I can record the audio into the video.
Yeah.
And it's not going to be some shitty onboard camera microphone because those are always shitty.
Yeah.
So I got all that taken care of, and I got it all plugged in. I got it set up, and I'm doing the filming, and it's great. It's perfect. It's amazing. I'm loving it. And instead of going downstairs and digging out my film clacker to get audio to sync with video and all that, I was like, well, I have my other audio recorder just in case, so I can get, two sets of clean audio is better than one set of clean audio. But I have this thing, and I'm not going to go get it. I'm just going to clap, and then I can align the audio peaks up together, and either audio that I decide to use, if I need to switch up the audio, that'll work. Great. It's worked before. I'm really happy. Let's go. I get through the entire thing, and I sit down to go edit it. And apparently the default in my camera was to not record audio. So I had one audio track to use, and that was the secondary recorder. Thankfully, I did use it. But I had no visual syncing to that secondary audio with my camera. So I kind of had to guess.
Oh, fun.
I think I did a great job.
Yeah.
If people did not know that it happened, I don't think they would be able to tell unless they were hard pixel peeking. And even then, it was really difficult. Like, I think on one of them, as I was going back through it, looking at it again, I think I was 2 frames off on one clip from the audio to the video, which at 24 frames a second, you're not going to notice it at full speed.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was, I'll never do that again.
That's one of the things that I do almost religiously is like when I get a new tool. Well, first thing, I do like to go gung-ho with it, but I do sit down and read thoroughly through the manual, before I tackle like a serious project. I sit down and read through the manual. But
well, and I kind of had for the photography side because I have a lot more options now, dials, buttons, and everything else. But I never went through it on the video to verify that audio was on, because I figured that would be kind of a given. It was not.
You never know.
Well, I now I do.
Now you know. If you don't know, well, now you know.
So, yeah.
Dave. It came out pretty good though.
I really like it. From like, there's obviously some technical stuff that I would love to change. Like some of the lighting stuff that could be better. The first couple scenes, there's a really bad rolling shutter, which I fixed halfway through it. So there's certain things in there that I kind of need to change up and to make better. But I think that the story, the pacing, the editing, the extra sound effects, I think I did pretty well in. I'm really, really proud of it on that standpoint.
Yeah.
because I can do better with lighting. I can do, I don't have the best lighting at the moment, so I can do better in lighting. And I really like the way it kind of turned out. Writing was fun, but man, trying to navigate my oldest kid, he was the one acting in it, trying to navigate his work schedule with everything else means that we couldn't even shoot until Sunday night, and the project was due Wednesday afternoon.
Oof.
So I shot and edited it pretty much in 2 days. 2.5 days.
Worked out pretty good though.
I think it did. And shout out to YouTube Studio Free Music. They have, if you go to your YouTube Studio, they have an option there where it has a whole bunch of either attribution or free without attribution music available.
Oh yeah.
All the music that I used in there was provided from YouTube. So that was kind of awesome. Their search stuff is amazing because you can search by duration, either longer than or shorter than a certain time, different genres, different moods. It's a really awesome tool for that kind of thing.
I always forget about that when I'm looking for music. I need to remember that. That's a great tool to have.
Freesound is also spectacularly amazing resource for sounds. The other thing that Freesound recently did, which is unbelievably awesome, is, well, it's a mixture of Freesound. It was put up on Freesound, but there is an old sound effects library. It was called I just had this. Oh, the Sunset Editorial Sound Effects Library. Now, if you've never heard of Sunset Editorial, they provided they were the kind of the backbone through most of the 60s, 70s, and 80s for TV and music, or TV and movies. The legendary Wilhelm scream was part of that library of sounds. It's just amazing. So a while back, and I want to say in the 90s, the USC's film studio or whatever purchased out the entire library of sound effects. And they had it for a long time. It was ended up being, there was a huge project led by someone there, as well as he kind of runs his own audio thing, to move all of this stuff from old reel to magnetic tape, and the magnetic tape to digitize it, and trying to get everything done. Anyway, earlier this year, USC decided to Creative Commons Zero, CC0, the entire library. And they released it on freesound.org. And yeah, it's absolutely amazing. All the sound effects from Bewitched, I Dream of Jeannie, Partridge Family, The Waltons, way back in, then, all of that's in there. It's just amazing. And it's about, I want to say
So,
it's 25 gigs of WAV files.
So like the little tinkly sound when she wiggles her nose?
Yep, that is now in the public domain and available.
Bro, that'd be a sweet noise to use.
Dude, some of these noises, I haven't gone through all of them yet. I'm still kind of sorting out myself because I just pretty much pulled it and I was like, yeah, I'm absolutely holding on to this.
Hmm.
But the zips of the WAV files is 24 gigabytes of zipped files.
Damn.
So I haven't gone through and seen exactly how many files there are. And some of them are the entire recording sessions, and some of them are individual sound effects. So you can kind of go back through, but it's something else. I am stoked to kind of get digging into this stuff and figuring out what's all there, how to use it, the most effective way of doing stuff. Because I mean, Freesound's got some really amazing stuff, and I think I'm going to be recording. I've got some stuff I've recorded that I'm going to probably upload to Freesound, but it's crazy.
Yeah. I've got to do a video edit for a client, so I need some better. Oh God, the sound that they had on their video was awful. So
Yeah. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. I'm about ready to be during this time off. To be shifting gears and getting ready for the whole growing in the fort thing, and start laying the backbone and the background for all of that, so that once we start seeding and getting stuff like early starters going up, because that's going to come faster than I think it is, we can start recording all this stuff and start talking about it. But yeah, this is I'm super excited about taking, even though I'm taking some time off from school, like I said, to work on some shit around here. Um, I'm excited about where things go from here.
yeah, that'd be awesome.
So yeah, it's super exciting.
Hmm.
But it's all about tools, right? I mean,
Yep.
these have been used forever. It's about getting the right tools, and it doesn't even have to be the best possible tools for a job. It just has to be the right tools for the right job.
Yeah. That's what I'm working with a client who has their website on Wix, and they didn't want to move, so I'm just rebuilding their site on Wix. Like it's a good tool for what it is, but like, God, trying to build what my storyboard was in there, like on that tool, is just, it's awful.
Yeah.
You know? Oh, it doesn't match up right at all. It's not, it's a good tool. It's just, it's not the tool for me, you know? Like, I've learned good to use WordPress, so using WordPress works good for me.
No, it does its job. The open source nature of it is phenomenal. Like, just knowing that there are, that either if you have the knowledge how you can make custom plugins, or anything you want to do, there's probably a plugin already built for it.
Yeah.
If you self-host it, it doesn't cost anything, which is the best part about it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the problem with Wix, or what's that other one that's really popular right now? Begins with an S, and I can't remember.
Squarespace.
Yeah, Squarespace.
Yeah, they're fucking expensive.
Especially if you do more than one website, it's you have to pay for the entirety of that whole thing over and over and over. Whereas self-hosting, and I can understand if you're only going to do one website and one website only, Sure, you might spend a little bit extra for it and it might be worth it for you, but some of
Yeah.
these self-hosting and these shared hosting stuff is so cheap that it's almost not worth it.
Yeah. Yeah, because there's hosts out there where you can set up a WordPress site for like $2 a month. You know,
Yeah.
that's worth it.
It may not be as um as stable or as fast as some of the other ones, but it's still really, really good.
I don't know. My load time on WordPress is faster than the load time I'm getting on Wix.
No, I know. Well, WordPress is faster, but I'm just talking about like the $2 shared hosting versus the $10 shared hosting a month.
Oh, yeah.
There's so as you pay more in, especially the shared hosting, as you pay more, you're paying for better uptime, better connectivity speeds, newer hardware, newer drives, those types of things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true.
So it's all about what, there's always that give and take in there. And some of them may not have things like access to cPanel, which I find insanely helpful,
Yeah, that's
especially
super
when it
important.
comes to email management.
Yep.
So, yeah. No, like I said, WordPress has been absolutely awesome. And, is it going to give you the crazy, insane stuff that you may have seen from someone else? Maybe, maybe not. There are still limitations with it. But once again, the proper tool isn't always the most expensive or the most uh, flashy, up to date tool.
Yeah.
I used to do that with phones all the time. Whenever there was something new, I was always getting the newest. And now I kind of sit back and I wait. I'm still staying fairly up to date, but I'm in that mode of skipping a generation or two.
Yeah. That's why I have the Pixel 6a, so I'm not
Yeah,
overly concerned about, you know, having the latest and greatest thing. I don't need it.
but it also helps that because I do my stuff through T-Mobile. And one thing that it does help with is that because I pay for the Jump program, which includes the 360 and for insurance and stuff, just in case something happens, it's a hell of a lot cheaper. It's one of those things where it's like I pay extra per month, but if shit hits the fan with this, then I'm not completely screwed.
Yeah.
And so I can, once I pay off 50%, I can trade it in and get the updated one.
Yeah.
And because I've been with T-Mobile for as long as I have, there's zero interest in it at all, and they don't upcharge the phone price. So it's like I'm not losing any extra money by doing it this way. As weird as that sounds.
Yeah.
But boy, have I been eyeing that new OnePlus Open. I guess it's their foldable, which I still think that their marketing for that was genius.
Hmm.
We open while others fold. Come on now. That's just smart.
That's brilliant marketing.
Whoever was in charge of that campaign, they deserve some extra cash because that was good. But yeah, it looks fancy. I mean, I've been eyeing foldables for a while. I just don't know if I want to pay the extra $600 for a foldable over the regular phones. And that's kind of where I'm sitting right now. It's like, because would I pay extra for a tablet? Yes. $600 for a tablet? I don't know yet. If they were to re-release the Pixel or the Nexus 7, the 2013, their second version of that, the 2013 version, if they were to give me that form factor, that size in a tablet again, I would probably buy it a heartbeat. But the problem is that Android and Pixel and Google and everyone else that's, Chrome OS, whatever, they're sticking with the with like the 10-inch tablets.
Yeah.
No one's doing, outside of the iPad mini, no one's doing a small form factor tablet.
Dude, yeah, fucking 7-inch tablet would have been awesome.
Dude, I still think that size, that especially, and mine still sort of works. The problem is that the hardware is so old that it won't run anything newer anymore.
Yeah.
And with the way Android's going with security stuff, which I wholeheartedly agree with, it's harder and harder to get old software like that to be able to pass the security checks.
Mm-hmm.
I still think that a refresh of that size factor would kill. With modern, let me put a caveat on that. With modern hardware, I know you can get smaller Chinese. I don't want to call them knockoffs because that's not fair to them, because they're not knockoffs necessarily. But the cheap hardware that has, because Android is open source, it's got the open source Android thrown on there. Those are nice, but they don't hold any of the power, any of the computing. They cut so many corners to go as cheap as possible that, the only thing in that form factor is like $200 or less, which is great for price point. Terrible when you try to do anything on it, or you try to do two things at once.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe they will do something. Maybe they won't.
I don't know. I hope they do. We need something.
Something will happen.
Yeah.
Absolutely something will happen.
Yeah.
Probably never that again, which brings me back to why a foldable phone is so attractive to me in that way.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's got the smaller form factor tablet with the phone size. And the thing that I really like about the Pixel Fold versus Samsung Galaxy Fold is the height size of it when it's closed. I don't care how thick it is, but it's the height. So it's not as tall and skinny as like the Samsung Fold is or the Galaxy Fold is. And I have not seen, and I haven't looked at a side-by-side comparison yet of the OnePlus Open versus the Pixel Fold. Because that's, to me, like, I don't care about the bezels. I don't care about the thickness of it. I care about the height and how usable that front screen when it's closed is.
Yeah.
And some of these phones are just, because I have smaller hands, so some of these phones are just getting too tall for their own good.
That's what I like, the size of my Pixel 6a. It's like just perfect. Like any bigger than that.
The 7 Pro is kind of pushing it for me. It's not terrible, but it's not the best either.
Yeah.
All right, so I finally unzipped the that stock audio collection.
Yeah.
There are 3,827 files.
Oof. Oh boy.
Dude, air industry, aircraft jets, aircraft miscellaneous, aircraft prop, ambience 1, 2, and 3, animals, birds, animals, dogs, animal farm, animal horses 1 through 4, animal miscellaneous, bells, horns, and whistles, boats, cars 1 through 3, carts, communications, crashes, creeks, a bunch of different crowd stuff, applause, children, indoor 1 and 2, men, mixed, outdoor, sports, women, doors, explosions, fights, fires, Foley props 1 through 5, footsteps 1 through 4. These are the subcategory in folders that they have built in. This is crazy, and everything is like listed through. So like we're talking about footsteps, right? I mean, footsteps 1. So there's woman walking and door, footsteps on hard tile floor, dance steps, variety of heart and light and heavy steps, walking outside on gravel, heavy boots on wooden floor. So the explanations are the descriptions are really clear on these things. That's the red library. Hopefully the gold library and the and the SSC library are the same way. Oh, they are. Dude, this is awesome.
Hmm.
I have a shit ton of stock audio now. Sweet.
Nice.
All right. Well, I want to kind of, for a moment, talk about the elephant in the room.
Okay.
It's been a couple weeks since we've been here.
Yeah.
Without going into too many doxing details, because I'm not doing that to either one of us. There's been a lot of stuff in our personal lives that have really gone crazy, mixed in with my finals project stuff. We kind of talked about that last week.
Yep.
You know, what happened to me last week and stuff, or the week before. I can't remember now. It's been whatever.
Yeah.
We do this as kind of a passion project for ourselves, and we enjoy sharing it out with you guys. But the reason why this project exists and why we're doing this is because we enjoy talking about stuff. And we've talked about stuff with other groups, and it became interesting for certain people in our friends groups that wanted to listen to us talk about stuff. They like to hear what we have to talk about. We're both in our 40s. We've been around for a little while. We have fun, interesting ways of looking at life and technology and the stuff that we're passionate about. And that's changed over time. I mean, when we first started this thing years ago, I was grinding for making a professional PUBG esports team. And now I've gone through iterations of streaming games, of doing that kind of stuff. And to the point now where, you know, I'm looking at more photography and videography, cinematography type stuff, because that's kind of where my passion has gone. And giving kind of a little backdoor series into what we think about the world and life and what we're going through and kind of the evolution of us as people. And there are going to be times where life gets in the way of doing everything that we want to do all the time instantly.
Yeah. It's
And
hard to keep up sometimes.
yeah, and individually we probably have the time to for a couple hours to do this. but matching those times up to each other is sometimes really difficult.
Yeah. That's why I
Because
came out of the gates swinging with the depression thing. It was like, yeah,
we were overloading ourselves, and we were putting things that were important to our home lives, to our mental health lives, on the back burner to ensure that we could spend 2 hours a week at the exact same time working on this.
yeah.
And it just, sometimes we're going to be able to do it and it's going to be a complete breeze. Due to some other stuff going on in my life right now, personally wise, I'm putting kind of school on hold for right now. I'm planning on returning and completing it, but for now it's on hold. And I will probably have more time to be able to flux my schedule a little bit better now with that. But it it just comes down to, we're trying to fix ourselves.
Yeah.
And sometimes things are going to take a backseat on priorities.
Yep.
So when and if we decide to talk about what we're going through, we will. Um, just know that if we do miss something, or we do miss an episode, or something happens and we're going to miss a week, just bear with us. Just know that we're going through something. Throw up a small sacrifice to the old and new gods, and know that we're going to return. We're not abandoning the project.
Um,
We attempted to abandon the project once and it didn't work.
yeah. We just, and we have been taking better care of the episodes. We've been doing more planning on each episode, and we're theming them out and having a continuity between each episode too, so that there's kind of more structure to it, and everything's kind of not necessarily prepared, but we have stuff to think about when we come in.
Yeah. Yeah. And, you know, it's, we'll get there. It'll become second nature again.
Yeah.
We were getting really good at second nature. And then, depending on which semester we were in, I was throwing off what days I was available and time slots I was available. And it wasn't the easiest thing for us to it threw us for a massive loop for a while.
Yeah. Yep.
So that's where we're at right now. Like I said, we're not going away forever.
No, we'll probably
We're
be
not.
trying to find.
As a matter of fact, I think we'll probably be a little bit more stable because I will be able to adjust my schedule better than you can adjust your schedule moving forward for a bit.
Yeah.
Like I said, I don't know when I'm going to return. A lot of the stuff that I wanted to learn, and why I was going back because I was only going back for a tech cert, and a lot of the stuff that I wanted to learn, I hit out of the park. This spring is one other class that I was really looking forward to taking. The rest, and maybe over the summer, there's another one that I was really interested in taking. But the rest can I could give or take. There's certain tools that I want to learn, and I've done a lot of that. I'm not saying I'm giving up on this shit altogether, but there's a lot now that, I'm just I'm there of where I want to be at the moment.
You already learned the tools you needed?
I took photography 1. It taught me how to use a camera. It taught me how And this is how I knew I was doing good was when I first started off, I was taking a lot of pictures and then I'd have to adjust, obviously you open up Lightroom or whatever you're using and you have to adjust the exposure and contrast and all that stuff, right?
Hmm.
By the end of the class, I wasn't having to touch the exposure slider at all whatsoever. I can see a scene and I know exactly what my camera settings should be for what's going on. And that was when I realized, okay, this is becoming second nature. I'm not saying that I'm done learning because I'm definitely not done learning and I will
Yeah.
never be done learning.
Yeah.
But for what I was looking to get out of at the moment, I think I'm pretty feeling pretty good with what I've gotten out so far. And I'll go back. I have no problems with going back. I will absolutely go back. But for now, I need to prioritize something else in my life. So, and that's just the way it kind of works.
Yeah. That's kind of where I'm at too. I had some other priorities, and
And there's nothing wrong with that whatsoever. Priorities are a good thing to have. I know we weren't going to talk about priorities right now, but
yeah,
priorities are an amazing thing to have.
that's a different episode.
It is. It's very much a different episode. And it's not terrible. It's not going to be necessarily perfect at the moment. And it's not supposed to be. Everything's a learning process. And I'm enjoying the learning process.
Yep. So
Very
I've been
much enjoying the learning process.
learning about the brain and learning about depression and learning about Wix and
Yeah, Wix.
uh, did you know actually that depression isn't necessarily like a chemical imbalance? It's more of a you know how fever is like your body's reaction to uh like
An
a
infection.
yeah. So depression is like your body's reaction to overwhelming amounts of sadness going on around you. So it works the kind of how a fever does. It's just your body's reaction to stuff going on. And it's just like chemicals in your brain doing that, saying, "Hey, hold on, this is too much. We got to like shut stuff off." But it shuts everything off. It shuts off like the sad, the anger, shuts off the happy, like all of it. It doesn't differentiate anything. It just kind
Yeah.
of shuts them all off. So that's kind of what it does.
It's not gay to hell.
Makes it
It's straight
hard.
to hell.
Later.
To feel things.
Yep.
But that's why a combination of tools, like being on the antidepressant, kind of helps keep the. They explained it as the one I'm on is it helps keep those serotonin doors open a little bit longer. So when I am doing happy things or joyous things, the serotonin sticks around a little bit longer. and helps me be happier a little longer and fight off that depression fever, you know?
Yep.
And then working with the counselor helped me like get through all the sadness and get through like work through all the grief and stuff and get past all the rest of it so my body will stop trying to react to what's going on.
That's good.
Yeah. So combination of tools to do the right job
Absolutely.
instead of trying to use a screwdriver to pry on a, as a pry bar.
Yeah. You mean a handled chisel?
Yeah. Yep.
A voltage checker?
Breaker flipper.
Breaker flipper. Dude, that's, yeah. No, and understanding too that everything's not going to be fixed instantly.
Yeah.
That was the hardest thing for me to kind of get through, was the understanding and knowledge that things are going to get better, but it doesn't happen overnight.
Yep.
And it's the hardest struggle, at least for me. It's always been the hardest struggle of understanding that things are not always going to be perfect. Things are not always going to get better instantly. It takes time, it takes work, it takes a lot of things.
Yeah.
And that was the toughest thing for me was, look, I just want to get better. Well, it's going to be a minute.
Yeah. I kind of understood it was going to take a good amount of time. But then I was like, I'm not feeling joy in what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I need a kickstart. Please. And they said, yep, you probably need this, don't you? I said, yep. I need an extra tool in my belt, please.
Yeah. And that's what life is. It's just slowly collecting tools and just know when to pull them out.
Yep. And I said, I don't want to take this forever. I want to just use this to get the kickstart going. And they said, oh, that's a good thought to have. And I said, that is a good thought to have, right?
Yeah. And sometimes there's an imbalance that needs to be fixed, and it's a long-term, like, your brain's not producing something or something's going off that way. And sometimes it is just one of those things where it's like, okay, I just need a temporary jump start to get me back into this, and then I'll be good.
Yeah. That's what I needed. I needed a jump start.
And I think that's kind of awesome that you're getting what you need out of that too.
Yeah. Yep. I got a short-term boost and I got my long-term help. So hopefully between the two of them, I do all right.
I think you will, man.
Yeah. Yeah, I got
If
a plan.
for no other reason than you're finally using the right tools.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been trying to fight it on my own for quite a while and struggling. Saying, no, that's not what it is. I'm just sad. Like everything's just sad. I keep running into sad things every day. Oh, God damn it. Why does that make me sad again? And then it was finally like realizing like, oh, well, this doesn't bring me joy anymore. Oh, this doesn't bring me joy anymore.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yet.
Well,
There it is.
and as you get older, there's other things that change too, where you just kind of go, okay, well, I guess this is the way things are going to be for a bit.
Yep.
It sucks, but I kind of need to just realize there are certain things that need to happen and certain things that don't need to happen, and now you have tools to take care of those things, and yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of awesome.
Yeah. Yep.
But you're getting there. And
I'm getting there.
that's part of the whole process, is getting there.
Yeah. I still got a long road to go, but I'm getting there. Conceding a lot of things.
Oh, that's
I
the
think-
hardest part,
Yep.
especially when you have been taught from such a young age that it's a guy's role to kind of control those things.
Yeah.
And giving up that control is an affront to is an affront to your manhood, if you would,
Yep. That was
and
something
who you are as a guy.
It's something I've been working on for years, was like breaking down my like masculinity per se, and like, yeah, I don't have to be like that tough macho guy. Like,
Sometimes it's not healthy to be that guy.
yeah, I don't need to be that guy. I just been like holding that up for so long, trying to keep everything together.
Yep.
Yep.
Something we all kind of struggle with.
Yep.
You know, I struggle with it being kind of that stay-at-home dad role.
Yeah. That's where I was at, being the
Yep.
stay-at-home dad and battling that and still trying to be, you know, the man of the house, and having to like fix everything that breaks and fix all the cars and fix like, you know, everything, keep everything going all the time.
Yeah, there's such a pressure, and even if our family doesn't throw that pressure on you, you've been taught a certain way all of your life,
Yeah.
and that's a really, really hard thing to snap out of, is to go, okay, maybe I'm not, maybe there's something off and wrong here.
Mm-hmm.
You know, everyone expects this of me in the world. My family isn't necessarily putting that pressure on me, but everything that I've ever been taught is.
Yeah.
And that's really fucking tough to walk away from.
Yeah. Yep.
And it sucks that we have that is kind of what's been going through. And the only thing we can really do about it is we try to teach our kids something different and break that cycle.
Yep.
I mean, that's honestly the only thing I can think of to do is to break that cycle.
Yeah. Teach them better.
Yep. And there's ways to do it. There are absolutely ways to do it.
Yep.
But it's still not easy.
Nope.
It's still absolutely not easy.
Get a counselor, have them guide you through the things you learn about yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, that's about really all you can really do.
Yeah. Yep.
All about taking those tools, applying them to your life, and not running away from it.
Yeah.
And that is not an easy thing to do.
Finding a balance in things.
Yep.
That's another episode we got to do.
Finding a balance and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I agree.
Yep.
We'll get there.
We will
We will
get there.
absolutely get there.
What do you say we wrap her up?
I think it's probably a good idea, my friend.
Yep. What do you say we break down some more walls? All in all, we're all just bricks in the wall.
Oh, yeah. Isn't that a Leonard Skinner song?
That's one of the greatest. David.
I just wanted to hear that reaction. That was the
David.
most stunned, exasperated sigh I have ever heard in my life.
David Wonderly. You go spank yourself right now.
Pineapple, pineapple, pineapple. Yes, I know that's Pink Floyd before I get roasted for that by anyone else other than Brian.
You go watch the movie. You go watch the movie. If you want to understand anything about depression and like some of the inner workings of it and like how deep it can go and how far back it can go and how intense it can be, go watch the movie The Wall from Pink Floyd. It's hard to find. Like it's not on any streaming services, so it's really hard to find. Like the album is good, but the album is just a soundtrack for the movie. And the album doesn't have all of the context. And it's missing part of the songs. Like some of the songs weren't on the album. So there's another album that came out later called The Final Cut that had some more of the songs on it. So if you go find the movie, watch the movie, because it's brutal, it's intense, and it covers the story of the character Pink Floyd, which was like pseudo based on their first singer, whose name was Syd Barrett. And it's such a great film. It is such a great film, and dealing with just deals with fucking depression and mental illness and addiction and abuse, and it's
Fucking hey.
dude, it's so good. It's so good.
Absolutely. I will have to look that up.
Yeah. Yeah, you know where to get it.
Yep. Anyway, my friend.
All right.
Till next week, we will see you guys all later. And thank you for putting up with us.
Yep. Later.